Hi everyone, it's Anne again, or as Kerry and Beanie call me, the Motherload. Right, what I have here is this little frame that almost looks metallic with the butterfly in it, and I'm going to show you how I made it. So I'll pop that there. Now to start, you're going to need a piece of card and a piece of tissue paper. It makes the job easier if you've got black card and black tissue, but if you haven't, don't worry, because you can always paint it black. But I'm going to use this and I'll show you how I do it, and I'll tell you when you should paint it black. Okay, now I've cut a piece of tissue that's slightly bigger than my A4 card, and I'm just going to screw that up like that, and then open it out. I can apply some glue stick to my card. You could also use double-sided tape if you have some that's big enough to cover the whole of the back, or you could use glue, but then you'd have to wait quite a while for that to dry. So I'm just going to use this glue stick, and I've not done a very good job of coating the whole back, but there's probably enough on there to do the job. We'll call that done. And then I'm taking my crunched up piece of tissue and just laying it on the card. Like that. Spread it out to the edges. Okay, and once I'm sure I've got the whole surface covered, I'm just going to press it down and flatten it out with my hands. And you'll see we get these lovely creases. Okay. Now if you've only got white card, this is the stage where you need to paint it black. Okay, so we'll carry on. Now I need to cut out the frame and the base. Now I don't know if you can see on here, but the crinkles on the base are much more defined than they are on the plate, and that's because when I used my dies to cut out the frame, just the process of rolling them through the die machine actually flattens out more of the crinkles in the tissue. So what I did was I cut out the frame on the die cut machine, and I did that by using two of my nesting dies, and I just sticky taped them onto the plate and ran it through, and I got the frame, and then I put the frame on the piece of card and just cut around it with the scissors, which gave me a piece that wasn't quite so flattened out. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, the difference between those two. Anyway, so now we've got the two pieces, and it's time to add some magic. And I'm just going to use this gilding wax. You can use anything you have. You could use this one is a metallic gilding polish. You could use that, or you could use treasure gold, or whatever you've got. Just use that. But I like this wax, and it comes off your fingers much easier than some of them. I'm just going to apply a little bit with my finger. As you can see, as soon as you rub it on, I think it's like magic how it brings to life that background. Like that. I love that look. And we get a slightly different effect on the frame because it went through the rollers of the die cut machine. And if you can see how different they look. Okay, and I'm just going to apply a little bit of colour to the frame. You don't have to, but I'm going to just do that with a bit of turquoise here. Okay, that's enough. It's good to have some baby wipes on hand. It does come off quite easily. Okay, so we're going to put the two pieces together. I'm going to use some of these foam squares. Put them on the back of the frame. Like so. Like that. I'm going to put an extra one in the middle. You might think this is a bit overuse of the foam squares, but I like to make sure it's nice and flat and not going to bend and buckle. So you don't have to use this many if you don't want to. Okay, press them down firmly and rip off the backing. Okay, just going to add a little bit of extra glue to these foam dots because I've learned from experience that when you're sticking them on this metallic card, they don't always want to stick. Some do, some don't. So a little bit of extra glue never hurts. Okay, and we're going to place that down on here. Oops. Make sure it's nice and square. Just press it down for a second to give that glue a chance to adhere. Okay, now the butterfly part. I've got these butterflies, they're actually sticky notes. So I'm just going to take one butterfly, and I like to give my butterflies those feeler things at the front, so I've got a piece of gold thread. A bit of glue. Attach these. Like that. Turn around. Okay. Just give that a second to dry. They might be a wee bit long. Trim them off. Better. And then two more sticky dots. There. And there. Bit of extra glue. Pop that in the middle. Okay, and then last thing to do is to put some kind of word or a sentiment or something on the bottom. I've got these little cut-out chipboard words that they're already dark, so I don't have to colour them. Just want to put some glue on the back. Put that there. Okay, so now we have two. That probably doesn't show up as much as that one. You might be better to use a lighter coloured one, but just for this it really doesn't matter. So that's how I did the butterfly one in the frame. Now this is going to be a 3-part video. The next part is going to be making these. And it's basically using the same technique. Okay, I think I've got all my bits prepared for part 2. And I've got just a blank tag, sorry, white on white's not good. But it's just a plain white tag. And I'm going to put down some shapes and dimension to it. What I'm going to use are some of these chipboard bits and pieces that are left over from previous jobs. I've also got some, these are the little bits that fall out. I've got a couple of Moroccan dies, and when I cut them out and get the lattice, these are the little bits that were in the holes, and I keep those because they come in useful for projects like this. The other thing you can use, which is what I like to use for this, this is the foam, I don't know what it's called, it's just thin foam. This one's a glitter one, but it doesn't matter because we can use the other side. And I've cut out, if you can see, it's one of those weathered clocks. And I like this because it gives you the dimension. It's thicker than paper or card, but it's really easy to cut out. It cuts out very nicely even with the thin dies. So I'm going to use that. We'll just pop out the little bits. This goes to the side. So we'll find out which is the right way up. I can never find out. Where are we? 10. 1, 2, 3. I suppose it really matters. So I'm going to have it back to front anyway. Doesn't matter. We'll put it there. Okay, so I'm just going to glue that down. A few dobs of glue. I'll work on here and then you'll be able to see it better. I'll bring the paper back for the messy bits. Okay, I might need a bit of extra glue. Okay. And we'll trim that off. I keep that piece for another project, similar to these, where you just need bits and pieces. Alright, now what have we got in here? I wonder if they might be pretend fingers. a bit long, but that doesn't matter, we can snip a bit off. So about there. And a bit of glue. Like that. Have we got another one? Yes. And snip a little bit off that one. Okay, do we want a flower? That's the question. Yes, I think we'll have a flower. Okay, and here's some of our little bits. It doesn't matter if they hang over, in fact that's good because they look better, and you can just trim them off. Put that way. One more. Okay. And what else? I've got this tape. This is builder's tape. Might use a bit of this. The problem is it's separating it. Right. It's adhesive on the back. Try using my pin. Hopeless without my glasses these days. There we go. And maybe we can just put that there. Another bit for up the top. Right. It's lost some of its sticky. Fix that. And do I want any in the middle of the clock face? No, I don't think I do. Alright, that will be enough just to give you the idea of how to do it. You can play around with your own ideas and whatever when you do yours. Okay, we're just going to trim off those bits that stick over. Okay, now it's time to make it black. Now you can paint it with some black acrylic paint and a brush, or I'm going to cheat and take it outside and spray it with a spray can of black paint. So I'll be right back. Okay, as you can see, I've sprayed mine black and it's now dry, and the spray I used was just one from the hardware store. It was a flat black paint. Okay, so now we're going to do the same as before and add the wax which makes it come to life. I love this bit where we put the colours on. I find it very satisfying. Now you can see you get quite a bit of dimension when you've used this foam, but if you're just using die cuts, you could actually layer 2 or 3 die cuts together and glue them together, and you'll get a nice thick shape that you can put down. Okay, I might introduce a little bit of colour. It's very forgiving, this stuff. If you put too much on or something, you can just sort of wipe it off. Okay, I've got another colour here. We might give that a little go. Oh, catastrophe. My piece has come unglued. Okay, we can fix that. I relied on the glue on the back of this tape, but obviously it needs a bit of extra help. Okay. Now, which way did it come from? There. Getting it back into position is going to be the tricky thing. Okay, well that's quite close. We might put over some more of the wax. Just going to use a brush to get into the little crevices. So my finger's too fat to get down into the little crevices. There. I think we've eliminated the white now. We can just go over it with a little bit of the colour. Now, if you don't tell anybody, they would never know. So it's our secret, okay? Right. Got a different shade of gilding wax here. Just going to put a little bit of that on as well. Alright, you can play with it as much as you want. We'll stop there. You can see on these ones I used other colours, and this was a die cut which I layered 2 or 3 layers of card together to give me the dimension. And this one I just went around the edge of the butterfly. It had a white edge. I just went around the edge of the butterfly with some liquid pearls and just eliminated the white edge. So that's that. Now, if you've stayed with me this far and you're up for part 3, I'll prepare that and I'll be right back. Thank you for staying with me for part 3. What I've got here is a piece of black card and a piece of black paper. The card's going to be the base. I'm going to take the piece of paper and just tear it into 4. Right. And I'm going to take these 4 pieces, and I've got 4 different embossing folders. I'm just going to run them through the machine, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, I'm back now with my 4 different embossed pieces of paper. And I'm going to use the glue stick, and I'm going to tear them up. I'm going to leave the straight edges on this piece because it's going to go in the corner. If I was putting it in the middle, I would get rid of those straight edges. So that can go there. And I'll get another one and we'll leave the corners on that one. Glue stick, put that one in that corner, Now these blank spaces, yeah, you can add little bits of torn tissue or whatever you like, that tape with the holes in it, but for the sake of this I'm not going to do any more and keep you guys waiting, so I'm just going to add my wax now. I'm sure you can see what we're going to end up with is a nice piece of card that's totally unique, that we can use for anything really. Make a beautiful journal cover, or you could cut it up and make tags and things, or a panel for a card even. It's endless. You just treat it as a nice piece of card in your collection. Alright, I just had a little touch of the turquoise just here and there. Okay, I think I'm done. I'm happy with that. My fingers. I have to let that dry and then use it for something. So I hope you can see that. I'll move it around in the light. It might pick up the light better. Effectively, it's just a collage of all the different embossed pieces which give it a different texture. Okay, I'm sorry this has been a much longer video than I usually make. Thank you for staying with me. I hope you've enjoyed it, and please show us what you make with yours if you do go ahead and use this technique. And again, thank you, and I'll see you again shortly in the next video. Bye bye for now.